You know what? I was doing this video with my ponytail, but no way. I do not like it on camera. So we're gonna put the hair down. Today we're talking updates and internships. So I wish that there was like a quirkier way to say that, but I couldn't find one. Updates and internships, basically what I have to update you on is that I got all of your messages for the internship program, and I was so excited to read that it's a good idea and it's something that you like and it's something that you will benefit from. That was like my intention for it the entire time, and that's going to continue being my intention. Hopefully I can do the program forever, but especially like for the rest of this year, because I know that you all would benefit a lot from it, and I got a lot of awesome responses. I already picked the person, so I'm excited to work with her, and I'm excited to just continue this program and see how I could help you more in your career. I can update, and the reason that I'm saying this right now is because I'll probably talk about this later on the video, or I'll start talking about this in another video, and that's that a couple weeks ago, I followed Gabby Bernstein. She's an author and motivational speaker, and I saw that she was launching this masterclass for like if you wanted to write a book and get your book published. And so I don't have the money right now to be able to afford that because of COVID and like everything that's happening. So I applied to her kind of scholarship, and I totally manifested it because I applied to it and I was like, there is like no way that I'm not getting this. Like, she got back to me, or her team got back to me, and they offered me a full scholarship to be able to take the class without having to pay for it. So that was amazing because it's pretty expensive, and I am getting all of this amazing knowledge. She's a New York Times bestseller, and I get to start writing my book, or I get to start thinking of like what kind of book I want to write. So essentially I am starting the process of writing a book, and I'm really excited about that because I always said I want to write books, but I never actually took a step to begin doing that. And I'm like 28 now, so I feel like, I mean, 28 is young, but I think that comparatively it's a little old. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to start this process of writing a book and see how it would go for me. And I think that I really want to finish products by the end of next year, and I'm excited for like the process and for like finally starting to do this, because I feel like I've had this vision of myself being an author for a long time, and I've never actually have done anything to do it aside from like writing articles and saying that I love writing. So this is like my step towards doing that. And like, if you want to be something or do something, like just kind of take steps to do that, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm excited to kind of share this journey with you. Let me know how I can position that sort of content for you to learn from it. I'll talk to you about the course and what I'm doing on the course, and you know, probably, I don't know if I'll say like what the book is going to be about yet or anything like that until I have like a very clear idea of it, but just share the journey with you because it's a part of my journey and part of my career. All right, let's start the School of Internship tips, or just like the little lesson that we're doing today. I have all of my notes down here. I have a lot of things to share with you. Some of these things I've said before, but I feel like I get the questions again, so be nice to elaborate on them again. I want to preface this by saying that COVID is taking place right now, so a lot of companies are not hiring. They're actually have laid off a lot of their employees, so which means that they probably won't be hiring interns or working with interns, but a lot of companies are. A lot of companies have seen an influx of work, and they are hiring interns and they're hiring more people. I've seen both, and usually it's one or the other. It's like at the end of each spectrum. What I want to talk about is the look and feel of your resume, which is something that I don't think I've talked about. But in a creative career, you kind of want still a professional resume, but a little bit of a more creative one. Canva has amazing resume templates that you can be using, and you can look at and kind of fit your resume to mold that. So you just want to make sure that the look of your resume represents you. It has, you know, whatever colors you want to add. I wouldn't say like go crazy with the colors, but for example, my resume has like a maroon. It has my name on top with a maroon color, so that's basically the only color I have, that black and white for the font. But I would just say like make it as like you as possible. For example, I have my sort of my professional sentence up top on my resume, and this goes for creative careers like PR, social media, and stuff like that. I wouldn't really know how you should format your resume for like health jobs or like engineering jobs. So like this goes for my fields. Have some uniformity with your resume and your cover letter, right? So I have my name in bold letters in maroon on top of my resume, and I also have that same format on my cover letter, right? So when I send both, it looks like it's part of one thing. It's not just a blank page with my resume and a blank page with my cover letter. It's like I have an entire kind of uniformity for both things. I have a writing portfolio when I'm reaching out to publications for, you know, to pitch them a freelance story. I will send them my writing portfolio and my resume, my CV, so everything has the same font, the same colors. It looks like I've sent one big kind of document as my portfolio, and it's just nicer. It makes you look more prepared and makes you look like you actually gave some visual thought to what it is you're putting out. And that's going to be important for social media and PR and marketing and careers where you need to kind of finesse your visual eye, or your visual lens, I guess. Something I think is also helpful is to have a profile of your work. So I know you're looking at internships, you might not have experience, or you might have like one internship experience that you did before the one that you want to get now. And I think that you just have to kind of extract what's valuable from the experience that you already have. If you're in school, you might have done some projects that could be a good fit and could match the internship. Like if you're taking PR classes or journalism classes, like there's some projects that you must have done, or some writing that you must have done that you could add into a portfolio, even if it's just one sample of something. Maybe you worked on your friend's brand, you helped her develop her social media, you did some sort of like graphic design or marketing for her brand or for somebody's brand. Add that in there. It's never going to be like not enough, because people don't expect you to have tons of experience. They just expect you to like put effort, and they want to see somebody who's prepared and like a go-getter and has given some thought to what they're presenting. My last tip in terms of look and feel for your resume is to print it out on resume paper. You can do that at Office Depot, Office Max, FedEx, wherever, but resume paper is just a little bit thicker. And so I don't think you're going to need it right now so much because of COVID, but just to keep in mind in the future, you always want to print it out on resume paper so it looks nicer. And then I also will buy a binder to bind everything together and just give it out like that. I think that is like super helpful, and you're going to stand out because not a lot of people do that. Like most people just kind of bring their resume in a paper or a single paper. But it's good to have a portfolio. It's good to have your, you know, ideas, whatever it is that you can show for yourself, even if you are creating an internship, or maybe just your resume, but in a nicely binded binder. Okay, so social media. Use social media to your advantage. Try to follow PR accounts. A lot of the times, a lot of these PR accounts are posting job opportunities or internships or whatever on Instagram and on Twitter. I've seen them the most. So I'm gonna leave some resources down below of accounts that you could follow, and I would just continue to engage with those accounts and see who they're following and see who's following them. Maybe you can continue to like reach out to PR professionals and get an opportunity from that, and follow the companies that you like. Like if you like Nike, follow them. If you like Lululemon, follow them. Most importantly, go on LinkedIn and find the marketing director, find the recruiter, find somebody who you can reach out to and get your information on their radar, and say, you know, if they don't have internship postings, still reach out to them and say, I love your company because of XYZ. I would love to be considered for an internship, whether now or in the future. Here's my information. And so make sure that you kind of establish those initial relationships with people. I know it might seem a little bit weird when you do it as somebody who is seeking an internship, but honestly, I do it. All of my colleagues do it. Everybody that I know kind of cold contacts people. It's a really normal thing. They're not going to think it's weird or too pushy. They're just going to know that you're interested in the company. So this is especially if they don't have a position open. You should reach out to them, to the recruiters or to HR, and say, here's my information on your radar. And even if they do have a position open, after you apply for that position, you should always reach out to a recruiter or to HR, to somebody at the company, saying, hey, I applied for this position. I just wanted to make sure my information was on your radar because I'm really interested. You could also go on LinkedIn and just type like public relations internships, remote internships, and look through their job postings. LinkedIn is a great resource. I imagine that a lot of you are on it, but if you're not, you should really get on it because you'll find a lot of different jobs through LinkedIn. And then also when you're reaching out to these companies, or whenever you reach out to somebody in your career, try to find that common link between you and that person, so that when you do reach out, you can say, hey, I also went to Boston College, loved it, like say a fun fact about it, and then kind of introduce yourself and your resume. And if you were to reach out to me who went to my school and needed help, I like to help everybody, but I would be so happy to help them because I know that we have a similar background, similar educations, and yeah, it's just something that people they like to relate to other people. So I think if you can find common ground, anything that's relatable, I think that'll work in your favor. And because PR is a very kind of deadline oriented, pressure driven field, you want to make sure that when you do get an interview, that you explain that you work well under pressure, or that you explain those kind of strengths, that you're adaptable, that you're open to learning, and that you're open to change, and that you're in the know. That's something that a lot of people overlook. Like if you're working in PR, you should know what's going on in the field that you like. So if you want beauty PR and you go into a firm that specializes in beauty, like what is new? Like Rihanna's coming out with a skincare line. You know, you should know these things because they expect you to be interested in the industry that you want to go into. You should always keep that in mind. They're looking for somebody who is in the know, adaptable, you know, flexible, willing to do like the grunt work. That's really important. And just willing to kind of take it all in and be a sponge. So I hope this helps you on your journey to getting an internship during COVID. Don't get discouraged and don't think that no one is hiring for internships, because I've actually seen a ton of companies hiring for internships. So don't think that way, and just kind of do your thing, try your best every day, and certainly something is going to come your way. I hope that this helped you, and I will see you back here next time.